Enjoy the silence.
VonAllen Sports.
Enjoy the silence.
This is Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching VonAllen Sports. Real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go!
VonAllen Sports. VonAllen Sports. VonAllen Sports.
What is up, guys? How are y'all doing tonight? So we're already in week 2. That was fast, right? So, one thing last night that I noticed, or sorry, not last night, but last week from the show last week, is that my mic was a little quiet. Wasn't happy with that. So just let me know if you guys think that it sounds pretty good tonight. If because I raised the volume, but I didn't want to cause any bad distortion in the background or anything like that. So just give me a thumbs up or something if you like the sound, if it's crisp, it sounds good, and all that. So, okay? I'm gonna make it a little higher though. Okay. All right. Yeah, Elf. I know, man. I know. It's annoying, but we'll get through. You see, the problem with having cats or pets of any kind is that even if you put, I put this pretty cool beanie actually on the mic, but it's you still get fur. So it doesn't matter. No one's here yet anyway, apparently. So one thing I picked up on, and I've asked a few people with other accounts and stuff, is that for some reason you might not be set to notifications anymore. So you need to make sure, for whatever reason, I don't know why that would happen, but you need to make sure and check it to see if the bell icon next to VonAllen Sports, if it's set to a solid color. So make sure it's a solid color, because if it's not, they're not going to tell you about these shows or anything else for that matter. So, but we'll wait just a second. Let it get out here. This is kind of weird. It's unusually low right now, so I don't know what's going on, but. Oh yeah. Oh, thank you, Tyree. Tyree Vaughn got this for me. It was a Coca-Cola gift basket. It had all kinds of stuff in it. So while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys now, and then I'll mention it again later on in the show. But so we're having a new quarterback tournament. Okay, so the one that we had last year, the one where you get an entry, you sign up for a membership, you get an entry, and then you get to pick your quarterback each week based off the best quarterbacks in the top 20 quarterbacks in the league at the time. And each week your quarterback goes up against your opponent. So the winner last year was Elf of Courage. he defeated James Johnson, I think, in the finals. Was it James? No, I think it was Gord King. Okay. It was Gord King. Okay. James Johnson went to the, it was Elf of Courage beat James Johnson in the Super Chat contest. So I'm getting those confused. Okay. So Elf of Courage won an Xbox, a brand new Xbox, when he won the tournament. So, we haven't decided what the prize will be this time. I think the prize will be based on how many entries we have. Because if you have 4 entries, I can't exactly justify buying a $300 machine, can I? So the more entries, of course, the better the prize will be, but we'll get that figured out. So here's how you're going to enter the new quarterback contest, because we got demonetized because of the communist commies, just whatever. Hell, they might be, I don't know. So a new hybrid of communism, which is capitalism at its worst, as far as monopolies and things like that. The downside to capitalism, which is not, you can't even call it really capitalism, because it's just corporate oligarchy is what it is. But you combine that, but they have the viewpoint, the political viewpoints of communists, which is no freedom of speech, and big government constantly coming down on you. So maybe they're like a hybrid, like China. So it's a hybrid version of whatever you want to call them. But calling them commies is, I don't know, it's funnier. So why not? But they can't be the commies from the past, because the commies from the past would disagree with a lot of things that they do today. So yeah, I'd have to say we need to call it American Marxism. I think that's the best name for it, is American Marxism. But anyway, I'm going off track here. So anyway, so we're demonetized, so we have to do it differently now. So what we're doing is on Patreon. So all you got to do, it's very simple. Just go to Patreon, go to patreon.com/VonAllen. You can find my name there. It's very easy. You sign up. There's 4 tiers, just like there used to be for memberships, 4 tiers. And the higher the tier you sign up for, the more entries you get into the quarterback contest. And also, not just that, as a member on Patreon, what I've done is I've created a way to circumvent their system and use it against them. So now that the memberships are gone from YouTube, there used to be a logo. You guys remember you had a VonAllen logo, a different type of logo depending on how long you've been a member, right? So that's gone. So you have no way of identifying that. They also took away my super chats, so there's no way to differentiate between your comments in the section or anybody else's. And as a paying person, as a person who's financially supporting the channel, you should be recognized for that. So here's what we're doing. I'm going to use the YouTube's function of moderator. Okay? So when you sign up for Patreon, that lets me know that you are a patron. I'm going to make you a moderator in the comments section. So now, if you're when you come up and you write a comment and I see that wrench, that little wrench logo that's next to your name, that lets me know that you're a patron. And I will treat those as a super chat. So it will be essentially a super chat, is how we used to do that, okay? Of course, the higher tier you are, the more times I will give you priority. And so basically what I'm saying is I can't literally post every single comment you make during the night. But you get the idea. It's all within reason. But anyway, so I'll be using their identification system for moderator as a tool to do that. So there we go. See, we're good. We're good, right? That'll work. So it's the same thing. But you have to go to Patreon. I know it's a pain in the ass to have to go to a different website because you're already registered here, and that's what made it so easy. And I completely, trust me, I wish it was like that. Okay, let me tell you something. When I was signing you guys up on YouTube, okay, they were taking 35% of everything you gave me. Okay, 35% across the board. Patreon doesn't even take 10%. So I could have been doing Patreon the whole time, but I wanted to do it on here for y'all's convenience, and for it to have an immediate effect and all those things. And so I wish I could do that for you. I wish that was the way to do it, but we can't. So, but anyway, yeah. So go ahead and go there whenever you want. You can do it during the show. Tell me that you went there. and then I can add you immediately as a moderator with the little wrench logo, okay? Okay, so we got Kevin Stratton. Kevin Stratton's the first one. He signed up for $10. Kevin Stratton, thank you, man. So Kevin is going to get 3 entries into the quarterback contest. So, Kevin, I'm going to give you the wrench logo right now, actually. Boom, boom, boom. Nightly Sinister. I think I asked you this before, Kevin, but I forgot to ask you. I forgot what you told me. Why did you change your name from Nightly Suicide? I remember, because on Xbox, when your name would come up on Xbox, it would say Nightly Suicide. And I'm just wondering what made you change that. I think you told me before, but I can't remember. Okay, Kevin. So Nightly Sinister, you should have a wrench next to your name the next time you chat. So okay. Sorry, just a second. This will happen faster, I promise. I'm trying to streamline it here and just make it much quicker. Okay, so Kevin Stratton, thank you so much for that. So Kevin has 10. He's a $10 a month patron, so he gets 3 entries into the quarterback contest. And Kevin, I will now tonight start treating your comments as super chats. So thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, buddy. Like I said, I've known Nightly Sinister since we were in kindergarten. We met in kindergarten, and I became his friend because I saw him getting in trouble. So we were in class, we were watching a movie. I don't know what it was. It was some kind of weird ass movie, and he got caught kissing this redheaded girl. I remember her name. I'm not going to call her out, but Kevin knows what I'm talking about. And I thought that was pretty badass. So, and it was like, hey, you live over by me. Hey, want to be friends? You know how when you're kids, it's that simple, right? So. Ah, that makes sense, Kevin. So hang on just a second. So Nightly Sinister says, he answered my question. He said, a lot of online games are censoring his suicide in his name. His name was Nightly Suicide. So Call of Duty almost banned him for that name. Okay, cool. I got you. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay, so yeah, I remember a lot of games used to not get involved in stuff like that. But then when I was playing the new Halo game, it was during COVID. I think it was Halo 5, maybe, or I don't know. I've lost track. But I remember I logged in, and all of a sudden it had a pop-up and said, donate to social justice, Black Lives Matter, and all that shit. And I'm like, wait, what? Fuck you. I just want to play my fucking game. Why are you here? Like, why is this up here? Fuck off, you know? Yeah, it was just stupid. Do I want to sign up and for a criminal who had a lifetime of committing crimes? Like, you think I give a shit? No, sorry. I don't care. So, whatever. COD, yeah, exactly, Israel. It became a woke mob. Yep, exactly. What's up, Jalen? So let's go back here. Let's see. Elf of Courage, of course, is the first one here. Thank you, Elf. I appreciate it. Israel, your Cowboys. We're going to talk about your Cowboys tonight. Sierra Chubbs, what's up? Formerly known as Sissy Chubbs. So Brian Magnum, my favorite name. Michael Swearingen, what's up, Michael? Nice to see you. Anthony Preston, what's up, Anthony? Haven't heard from you on X in a little bit. Everything good? Celtics Nation, what's up? Salute, my friend. Okay, so yeah, in order to sign up for the new quarterback contest, you just need to go to Patreon and pick which tier you want, which will give you the how many entries you want. Okay, and then as a patron, I will start treating your comments as super chats, because you'll get a wrench next to your name. Take a look at Nightly Sinister. He has a wrench next to his name, so you'll get that priority. Okay, but you have to be in the chat to let me know so I can add your name to it. Okay. So we have a pretty good week lined up. The Thursday night game. So if you guys, let's just cover that since it's already happened and get that out of the way. So the Eagles Vikings. It was kind of a weird game, but I think what you're seeing is that. And I'm just being honest, I think the Eagles are still good. I don't think there's going to be any kind of problem for them. I think the Vikings are actually an all right team. I think they're not bad, and I wouldn't put too much. Stock into it. That they didn't blow them. I don't know what people are expecting. This is the NFL. I mean, I just saw some people talking, the Eagles aren't good anymore because they didn't blow out the Vikings and they struggled against the Patriots. Okay, well, how about this? When the Eagles played the Patriots were playing on Tom Brady night, okay? So they were going to play better than normal, right? And they played pretty good. And I think the Patriots this year will be better than they were last year. And so I think that they're going to end up being, a lot more even killed than they were last year. I think there's still going to be bad moments and there's going to be good moments and stuff like that. But I don't think the Patriots are garbage or anything. So I thought that was a good victory for the Eagles. Yeah, I mean, this was Tom Brady night in New England. It was messy. It's just. I don't know. I don't think that was a big deal. I think that was a solid victory for the Eagles, and I think that beating Minnesota, and I know Kirk Cousins on primetime game, blah 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 blah, but the Vikings aren't garbage. I don't think they're garbage. So I think the Eagles are just fine. And listen, losing the Super Bowl takes a lot out of people. It really, really sucks. Okay, it hurts. It hurts badly. Okay, no pun intended. Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I get it. But, yeah. Okay, so Nightly Sinister sends a super chat. He says, are the Jets and Aaron Rodgers done? Okay, so with Aaron, I watched an interview with Aaron, and he seemed to be kind of hinting that he'll try to come back. I don't know. I wouldn't believe anything he says right now, because let's say that the injury, the rehab on the Achilles goes wrong. Let's say there's a setback. It gets infected. Like in 2000, Tom Brady's 2008 injury, it got infected. Okay, so here, Alpha Courage, I read it. It's just patreon.com/VonAllen, or you can just type VonAllen in the search. I should be the first one that comes up. I think I'm the only VonAllen, so unless there might be some other random account, but I think it's the only one. Yeah, so when Tom Brady got injured in 2008, and it's not the same injury, but the point still stands, okay? It's still a long recovery. Tom, his leg got infected, okay? and that caused a massive setback. Okay, so this also happened to Alex Smith, and what that does is it really makes everything worse. So it's bad enough to have to recover from something like that, but when you get an infection and it sets it back even more, and you think, okay, this is never going to end, and that kind of shit. So it could change his mind and change his thinking process. So I don't know. I mean, I hope it's not the end. I hope he comes back, but I would not put money on it either way. I think it's way too early to see how he's going to deal with it. And while he's rehabbing, because this is going to take so long, so while he's rehabbing, he may start to get down into other adventures and things like that. He is interested in a lot of stuff, so he may just get sidetracked and then decide, you know what, I can't. I'm not the same anymore. I can't get back. I'm just gonna rehab this like I'm not a professional athlete and just take my time. He may change his mind. So I don't know if he's done. But the other part of your question is are the Jets done? Yes. Yeah. So the only way the Jets aren't done is if they find some quarterback, make some kind of deal, or get some kind of veteran or something. So I think it's over for them. So the fact that they won that night is ridiculous. The punt return in overtime that saved their ass. It wasn't the miraculous playing from Wilson or anything like that. So I think it's pretty much. I think that's it. So. Yeah, Jaeger-Tharn, exactly. This isn't college ball where you're supposed to blow out the bad team. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Yeah, Israel. Regarding the Eagles, going back to what I was saying earlier, and the Eagles, you say they're nowhere nearly on last year's level. Not yet. Okay, so it's early. Again, I sound like a broken record, but it matters. The early parts of the season, I don't put too much one way or the other into it, because so many things change. Even though you're essentially the same team in all the important parts, there's new guys, there's new things that have changed. So you've still got to work together, and you've still got to capture that magic back. You guys have been off all summer. You're gone. You come back, and now you've got to readjust, and it's a new year. And your opponents are now different, and they may have changed a lot than what you remember. So I don't know. I mean, we could say this about the Eagles, right? But let's look at the Eagles. So they played a Thursday night game on opening night. So they were the first. Sorry, not a Thursday night game. They played a Sunday game at the Patriots. So they didn't get to open at Philadelphia. They didn't get to open in their own field. And then they played a Thursday night game immediately against Minnesota. So that's a weird start. That's a weird beginning. Okay, already, and it's not two, ridiculously shitty teams or anything. I mean, like I said, I think the Patriots will be competitive this year, and I think the Vikings will be as well. So it's not like, I don't know. I just think that it's too early to tell right now. But if we're gonna go by week one indications, then I think the Cowboys look the best. But what does that mean? I guess we'll find out against the next few weeks and see what happens. But yeah, if we're just strictly going by that, so. Okay. Bitcoin Motors says, I almost called you Bitcoin murderers. All right. Jets will call Tom Brady. Yeah, Jaeger. I don't think. Elf, just type www.patreon.com / VonAllen. See if that works. That'll just take you directly to the page. Okay, Elva Courage just signed up $10 for 3 entries into the quarterback contest. So far we got Kevin Stratton with 3 entries, Elf of Courage with 3 entries, Ryan Dyer with 1 entry, Christopher Queeley with 1 entry, and James Grant with 3 entries. So that is everyone so far. So Elf of Courage, let me add you real quick. Boom. Elf of Courage, you have been anointed. Okay. So, boom. Elf of Courage joins. Thank you so much. What, am I turning into Joe Biden tonight or something? I keep mispronouncing everything. What the hell's going on? Yeah, Elva Courage. So basically, because you have a wrench next to your name now, so when you comment, I will treat it as a super chat. Like I said, I can't post every single comment you send, but I will give them. They will show up here when I address them, like just like it used to be, just like super chats used to be. So that's how we're going to do it. So see, I've circumvented their system. Okay, so they want to stop me. Yeah, well, no. So you guys won't let them stop me. So that's pretty clear. There's something that I read here that I wanted. Oh, okay, yeah, Jalen, you said something about Kobe. What was it? Oh, have I ever heard of slap attack videos defending Kobe Bryant, like the way you defend Brady? If I've seen it, do I think he makes a better argument for Kobe than I make for Brady? I haven't seen it, but not yet. I've been meaning to. I forgot. Gord King sent me the link. He told me about this on X the other day. X formerly as Twitter, but he told me about him. He told me I needed to watch it because he knows that my favorite player of all time is Kobe Bryant. So he told me I needed to see that. But after I see it, I can make a comment on that. That's interesting though, that you think he defends it the way I do things. That's great. That's awesome, because that's how arguments need to be presented. They need to be presented not in a trolling fashion, which so many people do, and they're just like, "Oh my God, LeBron's the GOAT," and just stupid shit like that, and then just disrespecting everybody else. So I'm assuming he did it in a very precise manner, where it's facts and it's laid out and it's well organized and all that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Now, I will tell you, what is he claiming? Is he claiming that Kobe is the greatest of all time? Because if he's claiming that, that's not the same as me defending Brady. Or do you mean just defending a player in general? Because the greatest of all time is Michael Jordan, and it's not particularly close at all. So, but if he's claiming that Kobe is like top 5 or one better than LeBron or something like that, then absolutely. with Tom, the thing is that I used to defend Tom, and a lot of you guys found out about this channel. This was years ago. So this was before Tommy had even got his extra rings, and it was still kind of done in my opinion. I thought after Tom got 5, it was finished, and it was just a ridiculous conversation at that point. But there were still people who were making the argument for Montana or someone else, right? Now, it's almost pointless to argue against Brady. Like, why would someone even try to do that unless they're just completely delusional? Seriously, you have to be delusional to say that Tom Brady's not the GOAT. So I don't even know what the argument would be. I don't know how you could even formulate a serious argument against how Brady not being the GOAT. I just don't even understand how you could do that. So, thank you, Bitcoin. Yes, I made it to week 3. Boom! I picked the Eagles in his Bitcoin survivor pool. Ugh. Maybe I waited too long to start drinking Coke. D. Bateman, welcome. He says, I promise you I'll have a Tom Brady print of mine before the season is over. I told you. I had a print of him in the style of Rockwell. It's coming. Let's go. Thank you. That would be awesome, and I will hang it up in my art gallery. So I have a very long hallway, an unusually long hallway. Everyone who's ever been here has always commented. They're like, your hallway is very long. Like, why? It's like, I don't know. It was something about the building because it runs parallel to my neighbor's balcony. So it's very strange. Like it's like our apartment is deep into the building. So you have to walk down this corridor, which is part of the apartment. It's very cool. But it's just a passageway with 2 walls on each side. And I'm turning that into an art gallery where I'm just putting up paintings and pictures and just different things that I like. So you send that and I will put that up. Now, there was a guy who sent me a painting of Gronk, and I don't know what happened to this guy, but he sent me a nice letter with it and everything, and I've got it here, and it's he stopped coming on the show, and he never commented again. So I don't know what happened to him or anything, but yeah. But I really appreciate everything that people send me. Tyrese sent me gifts. Donnie Harmon has sent me stuff. I mean, a lot of people have. I was sent that DVD collection. There's please forgive me. I can't exactly remember your name at the moment. But he's not a regular. I've only seen him a few times on here. But he put all of the Brady Hate Saga episodes onto Blu-ray and then sent me the Blu-ray. And it was just amazing, So. Okay, so I'm interested in this. Jalen says he claims Kobe's accomplishments are greater than LeBron, and getting his 2 championships with Gasol was as difficult as when Jordan won his 3 on a game-to-game basis based on surrounding players. That's okay. There's a lot of merit to that. Okay, there is. So yeah. If he's arguing that just in general that Kobe is greater than LeBron, yes. Okay, and I'm not even a basketball person, and I could make a pretty damn good video for that. Just common sense. There's a lot of common sense there. But that's where I would go. You guys heard me talk about Kobe in the past. and against LeBron, and I've gone into that direction where you got to talk about surrounding cast. Basketball's a bit different, so there's basketball people have their own criteria that they look at, but I think era is important too. I don't want to discount guys like Bill Russell and stuff like that, but we have to be honest. Basketball was in its infancy as far as a serious professional sport with serious athletes back then, and it was I say easier to win. It was easier to have a dynastic team put together. It's similar to why we separate the NFL a lot of times between Super Bowl era and not Super Bowl era. There, whether you like it or not, there's a difference. And back in those days of Bill Russell and the Celtics winning all those championships, I mean, all the greatest athletes in America were baseball players. They would go play that, or that's it. I mean, even some of them would go to other sports, but it was just not as I'm not saying it wasn't competitive. I'm just saying that it's kind of hard to give it the same exact prestige and importance as Jordan or Kobe or something like that. So that's really all. But LeBron, here's the problem with LeBron, okay, is that especially in basketball, when a team drafts you, okay, in basketball, one player can be the change. One player can have a massive impact. It's why so many basketball teams tank for that number one pick. It's why they want that lottery. It's also why they started the lottery. They put the lottery in because they were trying to avoid that. But you want that number one pick, and it's so important. It can change your entire franchise, right? The team that gets you, okay? Now, I say the team that drafts you, but if they trade for you on the day of the draft, then you were drafted by them. Okay, it's the same thing. So, like Kobe, okay? Kobe was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, but immediately was traded to the Lakers. So it doesn't matter. So the point is the team that took you out of high school or college, that's the point here, okay? That team is expecting something from you. They're expecting value from you. They're expecting you to change everything for them. And then your greatness is judged by that. Jordan is selected by the Bulls. And they're expecting something out of that, right? And they finally get it. And they draft Pippen, and then, the rest is history. So there wasn't some, clever deal making in order to build the Bulls, the early dynasty into this super team bullshit. Okay, their team was developed, and that's where it went. The Celtics and Larry Bird, they got Larry Bird. Look what happened. The Lakers got Kobe. Look what happened. Okay, so the point is that you need to be able to make your team and help the team that got you. You've got to make them a contender. And the reason they're able to get you is probably because they were struggling or they sucked, okay? So they're relying on you to change the fortunes of the team. LeBron gets selected by the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's an Akron kid. He's from Ohio, okay? So he's a hometown hero. So they're expecting him to be the savior for them, for Cleveland. Not just Cleveland basketball, Cleveland sports. Okay, we're talking just Cleveland in general, Ohio sports. That's what they were wanting out of this guy. He gets them to the finals. They get blown out. It was a joke against San Antonio. Okay, but then he leaves. He leaves and he goes to Miami. He goes to a team where he doesn't even, it's not even his team. He goes to Dwayne Wade's team. So he goes to a team that is ran by a guy who already has a ring with Miami. So it's not like you're going to a team that has no guys and you guys assemble there and you're the man. No, you're joining Dwayne Wade's team. So you're going to his house where he's already won without you. Okay, so Wade already won without you. and you went there. What you did by doing that is you left Cleveland, and then Cleveland sucked for years, and they wallowed in the dirt, in the cesspool, and the garbage can that's just on fire for years, so they could generate enough lottery picks to get good players, like Kyrie Irving, for example. And then after he's used up Miami and feels like that's over with, he conveniently returns to Cleveland now that they've earned those players and made an addition with Kyle Love. Now he comes back. And then he wants credit for it, being the savior. Bullshit. Okay? And then after all that, he leaves again. And he goes to he goes to LA. You come to the Lakers? You come to the Lakers where Kobe Bryant is a legend? He owns this city. Los Angeles is owned by Kobe Bryant, okay? And you come here to just be another guy in a long lineage of great Laker players? You just want to just slide on in there and attach yourself to the legacy that is the Lakers, and then you finally get your ring in a fucking bubble during COVID that no one gave a shit about, no one even watched, I can't even remember it, okay? And now you think you're some hot shit. Sorry. That is not a great one, okay? That is not what I consider greatness, okay? Yeah, you can put him in the Hall of Fame for stats and all that stuff, whatever, okay? But when we talk about greatness, there is way more to that than just one thing, just on the court. There's, especially being the GOAT, when you're the greatest of all time, you're not just the greatest of all time. You're an ambassador for the sport. You are a great representation of the sport. You embody that sport, okay? And LeBron James has fucking destroyed basketball. He started all of the super team bullshit and all this stuff, and now it's just like, it's just out of hand. It's just not even, the product isn't even fun to watch anymore. It's just completely gone. In his quest to try to beat Jordan and to surpass Jordan, he's completely destroyed everything in his path to try to get it. So I just think it's bullshit. It's a forced thing. They declared him the second coming the moment he entered the league. So they did everything possible to force this, to try to will it to happen. You don't need that. You don't need all of that around you. You don't need everybody trying to make you something you're not when you are the man, okay? You just do it. You just get it done, okay? Kobe won 2 rings on his own without Shaq. Kobe won 2 rings, and not just 2 rings, but went to 3 finals straight. And the only player he had was Pau Gasol, okay? No one is exactly comparing Pau Gasol to the greatest players of all time here, okay? This is not Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan. It's not even close. We're talking about Pau Gasol here, okay? So yes, that's where I would even start right there, is just in general, before we even get down to stats and stuff. Let me tell you something about stats, okay? When you got Hall of Famers stacked up against each other, okay? The same thing in football, same thing with quarterbacks. You got Hall of Famers stacked up against each other. It's just, with statistics, you get past a certain point. You roll past a certain level, and it doesn't matter anymore. Okay? For example, Jared Goff, okay? Jared Goff's a pretty good quarterback. I mean, he was first overall, right? Drafted first overall. He's not bad, right? He's playing pretty good lately. Jared Goff, nobody thinks of him as being a Hall of Famer, okay? But he's going to keep playing for years and years and years. And there's going to come a time where Jared Goff is going to probably break top 10, top 15 most yards ever. That's coming. That's going to happen. And then coming behind him are also going to be guys who were just drafted the last few years. And that's going to happen too. And then there's guys that's not even entered their freshman year of college that's going to be added to that list in 30 years. It's the same thing. It's going to keep happening, okay? Yards are yards. Stats are stats. Points are points. Things like that, okay? Just like in football and basketball, as the game evolves, you get to the free throw line more. You get to get to the basket easier, blah, blah, blah. Scoring goes up. People start concentrating more on three-pointers. Scoring goes up, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so all this changes, right? So points are points, stats are stats. At a certain level, once you cross the I'm a Hall of Famer line and first ballot Hall of Famer, that kind of thing, the stat line is really irrelevant, okay? And that's why I did not, in my Montana versus Brady video, I did not focus on touchdowns, most touchdowns, all that stuff. I showed them just as a reference, but I made it very clear that this was not an argument. This was not a reason why I'm saying that Brady is better than Montana, okay? Because a touchdown in 1985 is different than a touchdown in 2005 or a touchdown in 2015, okay? Or a touchdown in 1967, all right? So touchdowns are different. It depends on if they're easier to get or harder to get at a certain time. And so once you've got accumulated those stats for your era and your time frame, anything past that is just irrelevant to me. So once we've established and put these guys in categories, okay, boom, okay, Kobe has all these crazy amounts of points and top this in every category. Okay, boom, Kobe's there. LeBron's got that, LeBron's there. Jordan's got that, Jordan's there. Bird's got that. Okay, so we've already passed all that shit up, okay? Now it's about winning. It's about winning. That is the difference maker. And then because these guys are so great and because they're so amazing for their era, we have to nitpick. We have to talk about the things I was talking about, which is moving around from team to team. And did you make your team a winner? What kind of help did you have? All those things matter now. Now, we wouldn't mention those for lesser players. We wouldn't even care about that. But this is a different level. And that's what you do. We do that in football too. It's the same thing. You could put Peyton Manning up against the other people. What are people going to say? Peyton's disappointments in the playoffs. They're going to say his Super Bowl performances aren't very good. That's what they're going to say. And it's valid. It's not valid to use that against Peyton Manning if you're comparing him to Joe Flacco. Okay? So Joe Flacco had one of the greatest runs in NFL playoff history. Okay? He kicked ass. He tore it up. That whole 2012 season that he did, and the 2012 playoff run that Joe Flacco had, that got him a massive contract. It was great. But you can't take that and go, oh, well, he's better than Peyton Manning because Peyton never had a run like that in the playoffs. Okay? So that would just, you can't do that. That doesn't make sense because Joe is not in the conversation. Joe has never made it that, Joe Flacco can't make it that high. So it's pointless. So you can't sit there and compare the two. I hate when people say this. Well, with that logic, Joe Flacco's 1-0, so he's undefeated. You can say that as a joke, but you can't use that as an actual argument because he's not in. So no, he's not greater than Peyton Manning. Okay, you can't say that. Oh, because Peyton struggled in Super Bowls, whatever. You can't say that, and you can't. It's just Flacco's not there. So that's kind of. When you're talking about greatest of all time, and I think this probably applies in any sport, but tennis is similar. Tennis is similar, but the difference with tennis though is that you put more emphasis on opponent. So opponent level matters in tennis. That is everything. So ranking and how hard and the difficulty. Who did you keep running into, or did you always have a different opponent every time? Which means that there wasn't a lot of heavy talent like you. It means that there weren't other great guys. So, for example, winning in the era of Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, all at their top of their game, winning a Grand Slam with those three guys around is much more impactful than winning a Grand Slam in 1967. Okay? So it just doesn't have the same effect. So you've got to compare those two. You got to compare that. So it's you can do that with anything. Pretty much. I'm sure there's a sport that maybe you can't do that with, but. Epic Courage says, Super Chat says that I will be going to Texas to watch the Patriots take on the Dallas Cowboys on October 1st. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Tone Paxton with the big dick drop. $20. 5 entries. Tony Paxton, what is your... who's Tony Paxton? Who the hell is Tony Paxton? Who are you? Tone Paxton. Who is that? Identify yourself. Anthony Preston, you're Tone Paxton? That's awesome, dude. Okay. Just a second. Let's see here. Anthony Preston, you have been blessed with the wrench. Let me just catch up with your comments, guys, on that rant, and then we'll move on to the next. Israel says, after what happened to Rodgers, it's truly insane to think that people are fooled into believing that any quarterback can just casually play into their 40s. Breeze was lucky to get to 41. Yes. It's, people have been spoiled by Brady, the Patriots dynasty, and, not just Brady's winning, but his longevity. So they use, especially young people. Now, I'm not trying to insult all young people. I'm just saying, though, that they do it with LeBron, too, but they do it with Mahomes. And they say, well, if Tom Brady played until he was 45, Patrick Mahomes will play until he's 55. And if Tom Brady wins 7 Super Bowls, well, Patrick Mahomes can win 17. And that's how they that's how they view the world, okay? And they don't get it. They don't actually understand that what we saw with Tom is stupidly ridiculous, okay? It is not supposed to happen, okay? What Tom did is like watching the chess player Magnus Carlsen, defeat, like 6 2,700 level players, 2,600 level players blindfolded. And he has to remember every single move, in order to do that. Or no one can defeat him at any chess for the world championship champion until he just got bored and gave it up. Okay, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about just ridiculous levels of achievement. So it's not just Tom's Super Bowls; it's his longevity. And people don't understand that was something that is so rare. It's so difficult. And it doesn't mean it can't be done, but here's what you need to be Tom Brady. Here's what you need to go into 45 with 7 championships. Health-wise, you need some luck. You need some toughness. You need to be on a health regimen that is psychotic, okay? Which is what Tom does. You've got to love the game more than anything else. You've got to love the game more than your children. You've got to love the game more than your wife. You got to love the game more than anything. You got to love the game more than your own life. Okay? Remember, Tom Brady quote, he said, I'm willing to die for this game. If you're not willing to die for it, I'm going to beat you. Okay? That's what we're talking about here. So you need that. As far as winning actually is a result of the same thing. That psychotic dedication, the focus. And also, again, you need a season where, things go right for you. You need to be able to perform at a high level at the worst points. And worst points meaning each game that gets on in the season is going to be more difficult. People are hurt. People are injured. People know who you are. And then after you win 1 or 2 championships, you're a target. You become a target now. Everyone wants to end you. Each championship you win becomes more difficult. The fact that he won 7 is so absurd. He's nearly doubled Joe Montana. Joe Montana was the gold standard. He was the standard that we all went by. His 4-0 with his way how great he was, and the reason we discount Bradshaw in some ways is because, Bradshaw's circumstances were a bit different. But the Joe Montana 4-0 thing that we all held in such high regard that we thought never would be beaten, Tom nearly doubled it. Tom theoretically could be 10-0. Think about that. That's weird how close he is. He's 7-3. It's not like he's got a losing record. You know? If he had a losing record, then I could say, okay, well, he could be at 0-10. But you can't say that. You got to round it up, buddy. It's 7-3. So you could say he could be 10-0. And look how close all three of those losses were. Especially the Eagles one. The Eagles one is the most egregious, which wasn't even Tom's fault. That was his best performance. So that's what you need, all of these things to go right. And to expect these new players just to be able to do it, expect Aaron Rodgers to be able to do that automatically. I'm not even saying that his age had anything to do with the Achilles. Okay, I just don't know that. Okay, but with age comes chances. So the more you're playing, the more the odds say that you're going to get hurt. Okay, and Aaron has had a injury history. He's been hurt quite a bit over the years. It could be his body. It could be just some people are more prone to things like that than others. Tom focused on playability because he wanted to be able to absorb getting hit. And Tom was also very clever about knowing when to take the sack and just move to the next one. Okay. And he also started focusing on how to land properly. And so when your body is falling, that you can kind of adjust and increase your odds of not getting injured. I don't think Aaron does that. I don't think he really focuses on that much. And so I don't know if it's so much as his age specifically. I mean, that Achilles probably could have popped when in 2010. Okay. But the more you're out there, the more chances that these things can happen. So it sucks, but yeah. People assume way too much based off of what Tom did. So. Yeah, Jalen, there's a big difference before the merger and after the mergers, because that's when you got the entire talent pool of the entire country was there. And that's why it matters, you know? So Bitcoin, LeBron did not get the garbage franchise that drafted him a ring. He left them, and then he came back. He let them wallow in garbage, and then he had to come back in order to get them that ring. There's a big difference. Let's see here. Yager says, I have Tim Duncan over LeBron and probably even Kobe. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, Tim Duncan gets overlooked a lot. He's kind of a boring player. So nobody, he's a boring player on a boring team, in my opinion. But yeah, I think that's why he gets overlooked. So, but. Bitcoin Motor says the Celtics got all the calls in Boston Garden in the 60s because the refs feared for their lives. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. Nightly Sinister sends a super chat. He says, every good player you can think of, it was during the Jordan era. Boy, that Jordan era was crazy, though, man. In the 90s. Of course, Kevin, we're probably biased because, we grew up in the 90s and we were heavy into trading basketball cards and stuff, so we knew every player. Man, me and him, we used to spend our whole days during the summer at the card shop. So there was a baseball card shop in our hometown, and we ride our bikes up there and we just stay there all day. I don't even know how we did that. Like, I don't know what we were doing, like probably talking sports and arguing about who's better and stuff, but we'd spend all day there. It was crazy. How many number one picks have died in Cleveland? Are you talking about NFL? Yeah, you don't want to look at that body list. Ask Addy. Is Addy here? He'll know. D. Bateman thinks Steph Curry. You know, Bitcoin, do you remember when you were here the other night and we were talking about me and your friend, cool dude, by the way. We were talking about Kobe, and he was telling me, you know, his personal reasons for why he doesn't like Kobe, and I was telling him why I like Kobe and stuff. You know, I've been thinking about that, and you know, you told me to that probably be a good idea to talk about why I like Kobe on a personal level. And I'm considering telling that story, not tonight, but I'm considering it. So you got me rethinking that. Yeah, D. Bateman. LeBron and Mahomes very similar with the being crowned the GOAT before they even passed some of the all-time greats. Makes me sick. Yes, that's a problem. Except the only difference is that Mahomes is a pretty good dude. And what's happening to him is kind of an outside force. Not completely, okay? He does some things that kind of show-offy and stuff like that. But it's not near the level of LeBron. LeBron is just an absolute garbage person. And he is insufferable and impossible to like. Just impossible to like. I cannot stand that guy. And he, you know, you don't go around saying, oh yeah, I think that made me the GOAT. Okay? You don't say that. You don't say that. It's so weird. And so, yeah, it was like a forced issue. So it's just, of course, what I'm saying is just about likability and stuff. It has no bearing on whether or not someone's a GOAT or not, but that's just a side point there. So, Eric Cooley, welcome to the chat, buddy. He says Dolphins will stomp the Pats tomorrow night. So we have I was going to kind of save that for the end, but we have the Patriots and Dolphins tomorrow night. And hang on, let me see if anybody else signed up for the, okay, so. Okay, so far we've got Ryan Dyer, Kevin Stratton, who's Nightly Sinister, Elf of Courage, and Anthony Preston with $20 a month. So he's got 5 entries. So Anthony Preston has 5 quarterback entries. Elf of Courage has 3. Nightly Sinister has 3, and Ryan Dyer has 1 so far. So that is how the tournament is shaping up so far. So make sure you go to patreon.com/VonAllen in order to sign up for the quarterback tournament. You just pick which tier you want, and each tier has a higher amount of entries. So, and when you do that, you tell me in the chat here, and I will give you the wrench logo next to your name, and that will be treated as super chats when you comment in the future. Okay? So we got it all worked out now. It's okay. Jaeger Tharin says, hey, Aaron, would it be hyperbole to say Mahomes already has more mileage than Tom at this point in their careers? It depends on what you mean by mileage. So, because here's the thing. With Tom, he didn't run around a lot. He didn't get his legs caught up a lot, but he took bad hits. Early on, he took a lot of bad hits, and that was during the headhunting era. The early 2000s, I can argue, it was as brutal in a lot of ways for certain players. Not everybody all around, but for certain players, it was as brutal as the 80s or 90s, especially if you were a receiver catching a ball up the middle. You did not want to be caught. You did not want to be a receiver caught going up the middle in the early 2000s. And I'm sure you guys remember that. It was so many awful, awful hits. And you remember the show Jacked Up, where they say, oh, he got jacked up. That was that era. And so because Jacked Up was such a popular show, that players now were starting to just launch their body like a guided missile at anybody who had the ball. And they were just trying to get on the show Jacked Up. And the thing is that they knew they were going to get fined, but they didn't care. Because when you get on the show Jacked Up at this time, it was such a popular thing. You become known around the league as a heavy hitter. And you might not even be that great of a player, but you become known for that. And guess what? Come contract time, that popularity, that viewpoint that people have about you starts to sneak into your contract or your endorsements or things like that. So you'll be glad to take the fine. So these guys were just lighting up people like nobody's business, and that's why it was so chaotic. It was crazy. It was just ridiculous. So Brady took some of those hits like that, guys trying to get on Jacked Up and stuff like that. So he took a lot of those, and then he, of course, he transitioned into the next level of the league, the post CTE discovery and all that, and the CTE scandal where they changed everything. They got rid of the show Jacked Up and all that. So, the NFL tried to basically LeBron James the league and pussyfy it as much as possible, which is, to this day, they're still doing that. So in that way, as far as just brutal hits and stuff, Patrick's barely taken any brutal hits. Patrick's injury problems and the things that he has is because, first of all, I think his body structure is just the way he runs and trying to do everything at once, what I call hero ball, causes you to get caught in weird positions and weird situations where your ankles or your legs or your knee is going to be contorted in weird ways, and you're trying to run through everybody, so everyone's falling at your legs, and stupid shit's going to happen to you. As where Tom was more just like holding the pocket, I get rid of the ball, and it's very rare for someone to go at his knees, so he minimized the amount. So I don't know how to answer that question. It's just all depends on your viewpoint. Do you mean mileage as getting just straight up hit, or do you mean mileage like ankle injuries and constant getting your legs constantly getting pulled and pushed on and running around all the time? Because you remember they were bragging like in the Super Bowl how Patrick Mahomes got blown out by the Bucs, but he ran 500 yards running around like an idiot. Well, that's not good. Okay, I don't think that your quarterback needs to be doing those things. I don't think that's something to brag about. I think you need to learn how to stay in the pocket and just get rid of the ball. And if you have to run around like a moron the whole time, it means that you can't read defenses. It means that you are having trouble, against that particular blitz, or you're having trouble getting to your reads that are not open, and that's a different thing. Now, I'm only referring to Patrick of 2020. Patrick has improved that quite a bit, but yeah. So I'm sure that was the answer you were looking for. Sorry. Tom's wife is a hoe. Hey, Jalen, it's week 2 and we're agreeing again. What's going on, dude? This is the new VonAllen Sports, I tell you. Bitcoin Motor says football shouldn't be played in Jersey. Huh. Yeah. Alpha Courage sends me a message. Yeah, I'll just do that. I just screenshotted it there, so boom. Alpha Courage sends a super chat to me on Patreon. He says, there's no better tasting salt than Patriots brand hater salt. We put that shit on everything. Well, you're going to deal with a lot of crap in Dallas. Ask Israel. So when you go to Dallas, it's not going to be easy for you. They're going to be more insufferable if they're good, if they're like playing well. So what week is that going to be in? I hadn't even looked ahead that far ahead on the schedule. So Satire Junk says, I personally think most players are just lazy in their diets or proper stretching conditions. Okay, so give me just a second, guys. It's getting dark out, so I'm going to have to turn on the bright lights here. So. The day sunlight is really good. It comes in through the windows, and it's better than any lights you could buy. So okay, just a second. Okay, here we go. No. I need to get one of those lint roller thingies. Yeah, that probably looked weird. Okay. Eric Cooley says the Jets tore Aaron's Achilles. They're fucking cursed. Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers, them spending all that money on Aaron Rodgers, and then him doing that in the very first drive as a Jet is the most Jets thing ever. Okay, it is the jetsiest Jets thing that the Jets could ever come up with. It's pathetic, absolutely pathetic. Celtics Nation says Tim Duncan is better than LeBron, but not Kobe. Interesting. Thomas Allen. What's up, Dad? My father is here. Oh, I didn't know you were here. I've used the F word several times, Father. Apologies, sir. Okay. My dad says, I wonder why the Buccaneers are so low on the list this year. I don't know. Right? It's a weird thing, isn't it? It's like something happened, something changed. I don't know what it was exactly. So here's my prediction. You guys want my prediction? But Aaron, they're 1-0. Okay. The Buccaneers will finish 6-11. There it is. Write it down. Take a picture. I don't care what you want to do with it. 6-11 is the best they will achieve. Yeah, where is Gord King? Celtics Nation says Kobe Bryant is my favorite player, but Jordan is the GOAT. Hey, that's exactly my opinion. Anthony Preston says LeBron can't read a full book and is a race baiter. I agree with both of those. How come every time they show a photo of LeBron reading a book, he's always on like the first 20 pages? Like, how come he's never at the end? How come he's never in the middle? You know, it's very strange. Hey, can you see my vest? Check this out. I think this is cool. So I got this vest recently. I'll show it off. Oh, and this jacket, check. Look, it's I don't know if you can see it, but you can see it better in person, but it's the VonAllen logo. And actually, look, so on the sleeves, I doubt this is even going to come up in the camera, but it says Von, and then Allen. In person, you can see it good, but I was going for minimalism here. Maybe I should have gone with at least gray writing or something, but whatever. But yeah, it's I've never seen him actually deep into a book before. I can't recall a time. Nightly Sinister sends a super chat. He says, VonAllen was a trading master for basketball cards. He could trade any card for a high dollar. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days. Do you remember? Do you remember swindling that dude out of Shaquille O'Neal, Magic's, the Magic Johnson All-Star Shaquille O'Neal that was worth like $150 at the time? And I gave him a bunch of Shaqs that were like just like Fleer Ultra Shaqs and stuff. They were worth like, you know, $10, $20, whatever, but they weren't like. And do you remember that? That was a great deal, dude. That was epic. That was so fun. My dad, he let us start our own card shop. There was a room in the back. At first we turned it into what was called the Houston Oilers Club. And then we changed it to a card shop where we'd set up cards and stuff and then come over and trade and buy and sell or whatever. So those were some fun times. Yeah. But when you live in a small town, guys, in the South, you find ways, you find things to do. You know, there is no going to football games, and I'm talking about professional. Basketball and stuff like that. There's really, you know, the concerts don't come to you. You have to drive to Memphis, and even those were few and far between. You have to make up your own fun a lot of times. So. Anthony Preston, the sign up for the quarterback tournament will end in 2 weeks from tonight. So. Not next week's show, but the week after. Jalen asked me, could I please do a video on what the Browns were prior to Bill being their head coach? Because it is my belief that Bill is the reason the Browns are known as a joke today, a franchise today. I have been considering doing a documentary about Bill Belichick. And it might not be too flattering, honestly. I'm going to tell you guys something about Bill Belichick that, and it's not even football related, but it's something that bothers me. You guys mind if I tell you this? It's 4-13. Elva Courage says the Bucks will be 4-13. Anthony Preston says the super chat says, "Is there going to be a merchant store?" Yeah, but with stuff like this, like if you want custom stuff like this, or like the jacket I was wearing last week, what has to happen is you have to tell me you want it, and then I have to order it for you, and then send it to you, because this stuff is with a different company. It's like custom made stuff, and you only order them like one at a time. So if you want anything like that, you just let me know, and I'll definitely do that. So. Yeah, Eric Cooley, that Patrick Bet-David interview with Kobe Bryant is one of my favorite interviews of all time. It's absolutely amazing. It's so good. Tim Anderson says, what made Jordan different was he would make 2 to 3 plays every game that nobody else in the world could do. It's true. Some random Patriots fan says, also, Bill Belichick was basically the coach of the Ravens. So, yeah, so when he got fired, he got fired and they moved the team to Baltimore. So what we know is the Ravens was that organization, that the ownership, which was Art Modell. And the reason the Cleveland Browns he left, or that was left behind, is because the Cleveland Browns, the city of Cleveland, sued for the rights to the Browns' history and legacy. So Baltimore Ravens are a literally new franchise, and as far as they don't carry the legacy of the Browns' history there. So. I said I was going to say something to you guys, didn't I? Yeah, you guys going to kill me if I don't say something? Okay, so Bill Belichick, I've always had a lot of respect for Bill Belichick. And one of the reasons is because when you have respect for somebody, it's not just about it's just about the performance in the job that they do, okay, and like as a coach, okay, so you can respect someone for that. But I had respect for him as a man, as an actual person. And one of the biggest reasons was his love for the Navy. And his father was a football coach there, and Bill grew up as a kid around Annapolis, Maryland, and that's where the Navy, you've got the university there where you go to be the officers' school. It's kind of like their West Point, for how Army has West Point in New York. So Annapolis is like a big Navy thing. Well, my dad was in the Navy, my brother was in the Navy, and my grandfather was in the Navy, and my great-grandfather was in the Navy. You see the thing here. So as a fan, of the Navy and just our military in general, because I love our country and I love its history. So Bill has always come across as a patriot, someone who, not even the team name, but I mean a literal patriot. And he's always had respect for the military and respect for our country's history. When Donald Trump became president, he hired Belichick to be on a committee for athletics, for children's athletics and countrywide. So Belichick was technically working in the Trump administration. And I always saw Bill as a guy who didn't give a shit about what anyone thought, that the country and his principles came first. Okay? And then he would do this stuff that just really impressed me. So when Barack Obama would refuse to refer to the Armenian genocide as an Armenian genocide, they wouldn't call it a genocide. They refused to call it that. And Bill didn't like it. And Bill didn't like it because one of his employees for the Patriot is Armenian. And so he had a lot of respect for that Armenian history and what happened there. So Bill went to the White House when Obama was there and wore an Armenian flag, kind of as a in your face, screw you kind of thing. So what the hell? Yeah, so all these things are like, whoa, that's a stand-up thing. That's like he just does what he does. He's Bill Belichick. He says what he wants and he doesn't conform to anything and he doesn't seem to care. Until one day, it got too hot for him. And when the transition from Trump to Biden was happening in January of 2021, as presidents do when they're leaving office, they give out presidential commendations and things like that. And Trump, of course, like every president in history, has put out his list for people who are going to get the Medal of Honor. It's for the civilian honor. It's the highest honor a civilian can get in this country. And getting one of those is one of the greatest moments that you could have for an American citizen. It is the upper echelon, okay? It is the thing that you want to have. And you put that thing on your resume, you people know who you are. You are amazing, okay? And it's also a testament to what you've done as a person and your legacy. Well, because of all the heat going on from the fake news media and everybody, he declined to get his Medal of Freedom from Trump. He declined it. He didn't go because he didn't want the heat from people and I don't know if it was people in Boston or I don't know if it was the team or his players. I don't know who exactly, but for lack of a better term, he pussied out. And when you decline something like that, everything else that you say you believe in, everything else that you say that you're for and you stand for rings hollow. Because when it got really hot, it means that you're willing to stand for your principles when it's a little hot, but when it's too hot, all of a sudden you become a conformist and you fall in line like a good little boy. And what makes this even worse, what makes it so much worse, is that this is not something that he did early in his career. Okay, he is a legend. In most people's minds, he is the greatest that's ever lived, the greatest head coach who's ever lived. So his legacy is intact. He has made more money than he could ever spend, that his great grandkids could probably spend if they're not stupid. So he's got nothing left to prove. A Presidential Medal of Freedom is the topping on the cake that just ends a life, ends a life's work, a life's achievement. He had nothing to lose or from doing that, but yet he still pussied out. And just as a man and as an American, he really, really lowered in my eyes. And the reason, when the President of the United States, I don't care who is the President of the United States, when the White House is calling and wants to give you a Presidential Medal of Freedom for your life's achievements and for what your contributions to this country, you take it. You take it. And you say thank you. Okay? Other people took their presidential commendations. Other people accepted theirs. He didn't. He's a coward. He's a coward. Okay? That is a personal thing. Has nothing to do with him as a coach. Now, we talk about him as a coach, that's a different thing. But this is my personal feeling about him. So, that's just... I thought he was a man of principle. I really did. And I thought that he, his dad would have taken that medal. His dad would have. And he talks about his dad all the time, about how he was, Mr. Navy and all this stuff. So it's a little disappointing. So that I never really mentioned this before, but I've felt like this for the last several years, ever since it happened. So Alpha Courage, you sent another. Hang on just a second. Gotcha. Got it. Here we go. Oh, it's a good one. I like this. Elf of Courage sends a super chat on Patreon. He says, what was the oldest sports card you ever had, VonAllen? Mine was a 1955 Bowman card. I honestly can't answer that. I don't know. We didn't really have a lot of old cards. We were just trading in current cards at the time. NFL cards weren't very popular in the 90s. It was mainly baseball and basketball that people were trading in. We traded in a little hockey, but those weren't very popular either. So basketball was really the ones that were pretty valuable at the time. And so we would just trade out like current players of that era and try to pull rare cards out of a pack and stuff like that. So as far as old cards, I never had too many of those, and so I couldn't even honestly tell you who I had or how old it would have been. So there's no lag, Alpha Courage. I was just behind on the comment section. So because when I talk, I don't check the comment section, and then I have to go back and make sure I read everything. So there's no lag. Like a lot of these I get immediately. So this is some random Patriots fan says this is a very goofy reason to take a low blow. How's it a goofy reason? What I just explained my reason. It's not a low blow. It's not a low blow at all. It's a very valid point. It's a valid point. This is the highest honor a civilian could get in this country, and you declined it because of heat. Heat from the media. Heat from the media. Other men accepted theirs. Why didn't he? So they did. They accepted theirs. He didn't. He pussed out. Okay? He's a coward. That's it. That's the bottom line. He pussed out in that particular situation. He did. That's it. Not a low blow. Not a low blow at all. It's a very, very valid reason. It's a personal reason. It has nothing to do with viewing him as a coach. So how I view him as a coach is completely separate. So, but no, that doesn't even make any sense. Blacker58 says, are we talking about the Trump medal? Yes. Yeah. Israel says, dang, I had no idea Belichick did any of these things. I too thought he was a man of integrity and such. It's disappointing to hear. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That is the one thing that you really, if you're going to stand up for something, that's where you do that, because it's not like other people unanimously decided not to go to do the ceremony or accept the award. So they did. So that means those people had bigger balls than he did, at least. So. Nightly Sinister, you said you don't remember, you still have some 80s hockey cards. Yeah, we have the 80s cards. We have stuff from the 80s and that, but Kevin, did we ever have an old card? Like the one Elf of Courage was talking about? I don't think so. I don't think we did. So Okay. So actually, I'm just going to move this over. In the early slot for tomorrow, which is an ungodly hour here in Los Angeles, 10 a.m. Starts out Packers at Falcons. The NFL website is terrible. It takes, I've got very good internet, by the way, and it takes forever. Finally, thank you for giving me the matchup. Jesus. What have they done to this website? It's so bad. There's pop-ups everywhere, all kinds of things running in the background. It's just ridiculous. What, did they get rid of did they get rid of the analysis and the rankings and everything they used to have there? They did. That's nice. That's nice. So good job, NFL. You're completely irrelevant. I have to go to a different website just to look up your stuff. So screw you. Okay. So I'm going Atlanta here, actually. So funnily enough, probably weird. But, yeah, Atlanta. Just a second. NFL. The NFL now is ran like Bud Light, apparently. So. Okay, well, at least ESPN hasn't lost their minds. They still have a pretty good website. So, I used to be able to use the NFL's website for that. You'd click on it, you'd have all these cool details and stuff that kind of frame everything in an organized manner, you know. But now there's just nothing there. There's nothing there. It's just ads and shit, like nothing. So good job. Don't get Milena started on website design. She has to hire web designers and stuff for marketing and things. And they're the biggest fucking annoying people of all time. Like we're going to switch it up this way to be cool and cute and stuff. And it just makes it worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And that's how you know what happened here. So. But with the Packers and Falcons, they're both 1-0, but still, I like Atlanta here. So Raiders and Bills have become a little more interesting now that Buffalo defeated. Buffalo was defeated by the Jets without Aaron Rodgers. Just kind of makes it a little more fun, I guess, for people if they think that was relevant to the situation. But unfortunately for Raiders fans, it isn't. So the Bills are going to win this straight up. It's the Bills are going to be the Bills tomorrow. That's done. You can write that one in. Ravens Bengals. Okay. I honestly can't say that I saw last week coming with Joe Burrow and the Bengals and what happened to them. But again, week 1, I don't care that much. Going Cincinnati here. Seahawks at Lions. Lions are going to be good this year, just like I said last year. That game against the Chiefs wasn't an anomaly of any kind. It was just them playing well. It was the Chiefs just, it's kind of difficult to get started up again after you've won, and people get settled in, and then they think they've got everything figured out. But yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock into that as far as like crapping on Kansas City. I'm not doing that. I think it was more just Lions look good, and they looked how they finished last year. So we kind of knew this was going to happen, that the Lions were going to be pretty good. Seahawks they're nothing. They're going to be nothing this year. So I got Lions going 2-0 at home. So that's weird. Here we are. So we're going into a week where the Lions and Cleveland Browns are both 1-0. How funny is that shit? So well, Anthony Preston, the app may be different. The NFL app, yeah, the NFL app, but I'm talking about the actual website itself that I'm using on the computer here, and it's god awful. So yeah, the app is you can just select the game and then it gives you everything. So, yeah, the app is different. So we got Chargers at Titans. All right. Justin Herbert, as I said last year, Justin Herbert is going to have his career held back by his idiot coach. And it's just going to continue to happen. It's going to be wasted talent, wasted roster because his coach is a dumb shit. I'm going Titans at home here. They're both 0-1, but it doesn't matter. Oh, look at this. Bears at Buccaneers. Justin Fields sucks. Okay? He sucks. The Bears suck. The Buccaneers suck. Don't tell me I'm going to say the Buccaneers are going to win this. Jared Goff was better than Patrick Mahomes ever was. Right, Up the Courage? That's the Ryan Clark. The Bears are going to get the victory here. Chiefs at Jaguars. So this is an interesting game, actually. It's last year it would be not so interesting, but well, it depends on what time of the year last year. But yeah, I like this game a lot, and one that I'll be looking forward to seeing the outcome. But the Chiefs are not going to lose 2 weeks in a row. I just don't see it happening. I know they lost at home on their trophy opening night, and against what people, the Lions, although I think the Lions are pretty good. And I think the Jaguars are going to be good this year. But I just don't think the Chiefs are going to lose this game. Yes, I do. So I am going Jaguars. I'm going Chiefs start the season 0-2. See, the actual Super Bowl slump is happening to the Chiefs. Why? Because they were probably the team that should have lost the Super Bowl. So we'll just go with that. Just try to be an annoying asshole for a second. So we'll just play the game of all the little idiot trolls out there. Well, they should have won, so, So that's right. That's right. I'm saying right now the Jaguars are going to start 2-0 and the Chiefs are going to start 0-2. But it's going to have no bearing on the Chiefs later on in the year. Just have a little fun here, okay? Can't just pick every easy team. But, yeah. I think the Jaguars are going to surprise a lot of people this year. Colts at Texans. Oh. If the term gives zero fucks was a football matchup, it would be the Colts at Texans. This is so boring and so shitty and so irrelevant that I don't care. So I'm going to say Colts and Texans, I hope you both lose, and may God have mercy on your souls. Next. 49ers at Rams. 49ers, buddy. That's too easy. That's like way easy. Which is my other pick in Patrick's pool there. So the Rams suck. Giants at Cardinals. Now, we're in the 1 o'clock games, by the way. So this is 1 o'clock for me. Yeah. 4 o'clock for a lot of you guys. So 49ers at Rams is the 1 o'clock crossover. So Giants at Cardinals. The Giants got their giant asses handed to them by the Cowboys, but the Cardinals are even worse because I think Giants really, they just had a bad day, but it was the matchup against the Cowboys that didn't work out for them, which Cowboys are going to be a good team this year. So I think in the long run we'll see that Giants beatdown was an anomaly for them. I don't think they're going to be terrible. I don't think they're going to be great, but the Cardinals are the actual just bottom of the barrel. Like there's crappy teams at the bottom of a trash bag or something, but the Cardinals are below that. Like when you take your garbage out to the garbage dump, the big one, and you see at the bottom there's like nasty shit at the bottom, like milk and gross stuff that's like leaked out through the trash bags and everything. That's the Cardinals. Okay? So I'm not going to compliment them and say that they're trash. No, they're not trash because trash actually had a usage. They're like the nasty shit at the bottom that never comes off, that smells bad and it's just there. Okay? That's what the Cardinals are. So I'm going Giants, obviously. Jets at Cowboys. What a disappointment. Okay? If Æron didn't get hurt, man, this game, I would be hyping the crap out of this game right now. But instead, we're looking at a complete Dallas annihilation. The Washington Communists, the DC Lizard people, the DC Eyes Wide Shut party attendees, whatever you want to call them, are at the Denver Broncos had a disappointing start. I was expecting more from Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. I had confidence in them, and to prove I had confidence in them, they were one of my picks last week in the pool. I started with 3 picks. I've only got 2 now, thanks to Sean Payton and Russell Wilson. So can they get their shit together and actually get a win? They're playing at home against the Commies. I believe they do. I believe they get a victory. So, and they better. And Russell better play well, because if he doesn't, and he continues to suck for the like he's been doing back to last year and this week 1, if he continues this, it's him. And you can't really make excuses anymore. Now, you guys know I've been the biggest Russell Wilson fan for years, but I'm a realist. It doesn't have anything to do with whether you like the person or not, or like the player or whatever. He's been bad. He's been very bad. I mean, I used to pick him as like MVP, like worthy, when you'd pick who you think is going to be MVP and stuff. And now I consider him like trash. It's sad. It really is. And he's got to get it back, man. He's got to do something. But I think they'll be okay. I think tomorrow they'll get the victory over the Communists. So, the primetime game. So the primetime game is, that's our game. So Dolphins at Patriots. And of course it's a good game, because Dolphins-Patriots is always good. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what season it is. It's always going to be a good game. Now, the Patriots going to Miami is a much different prospect. We were cursed. It's just an absolute curse for the Patriots to go into Miami. I don't know why. It's weird. It's just, can't explain it. It's some kind of just thing that happens, right? Tyreek Hill's got to be stopped. I know that's obvious. It's something John Madden would say, but it's for real, man. For real. He's got to be stopped. I think that Belichick can contain him. And I think Tua is a bit overrated, okay? People are excited about him and stuff. But what's happening, what you're seeing, is the Patrick Mahomes effect in a way where Tyreek Hill makes your job easier, much easier early on, and he can make you look much better than you really are as a quarterback. I'm not saying Tua sucks. I'm not saying that, okay? I even like the guy. I think he's a good dude. But 466 yards last week, 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, 11 receptions. I think Tyreek was the story of that, to be honest with you. So I'm going New England here. I think New England gets the victory. I think Mac Jones has a good game. I think Bill O'Brien's going to have a good game plan against the Dolphins defense. So we're okay. Okay, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. So now, when the New England Patriots go to the Miami Dolphins, we'll see how each team is going into that game. But it may be a different story there. So so we'll see. But oh, no. Some random Patriots fan. I wasn't implying that Patrick needs Tyreek Hill or whatever. That's not what I was saying. I was saying that Tyreek can make you look good early on. It helps. It helps to be able when you're new in the league and you're God dang, when you're new in the league and you're trying to get acclimated and get things done, Tyreek Hill being there can be really good for you. So that I think that this is that effect right now. I'm just not sold on Tua as a franchise future quarterback. I'm not yet. So like with Patrick Mahomes, I knew he was the first year. So 2018, I knew it. It was, even though he was getting those wide open throws to Tyreek and stuff like that, there was still something there. There's something about Patrick that was different, and you could see it. And I'm not seeing that in Tua, not yet. It's too up and down, too roller coaster. Need more. Need to see more. So we're going Patriots here. Mac Jones gets the victory at home. So Monday night. So we have a doubleheader on Monday night, which is weird. They used to do that in week 1, but whatever. So Saints at Panthers. Derek Carr, he had over 300 yards, I think, in week 1. had a pick, but that's fine. The Panthers, it's just not their year. That when you got a new season and you can kind of see the writing on the wall for certain teams. I think the Panthers are one of those that they're just they're gonna have problems there. So I like the Saints for this one on Monday night, and then the late night game is Browns at Steelers, and I think the Steelers run is over. The Tomlin era is finished. I think Mike Tomlin needs to go somewhere else. I think he needs a new start. I think he needs a fresh start, and the Steelers need to it's time to. He had a great run there, great run, amazing run, but I think it's time for Mike to kind of explore a new team. Maybe he goes to a warm weather team or something, and kind of starts franchise building somewhere else. And I think that's what it's time for. So. Sometimes you just need a switch, Honestly, I think Belichick may be in that right there. I think Bill probably could have left when Brady left and went to a different team and just started franchise building in a different organization or something. Maybe he could have done that. So sometimes it's just time. In fact, I think that would have been pretty cool of Bill and Tom leaving together. Maybe that. Now, this is hindsight. Okay, I would have been devastated back then if both of them left. I'm talking from hindsight here, like what was best for him, and knowing what we know now. Maybe it was time for him to do that. So I don't know, but I think for Tomlin, I think that's where that is. So I got the Browns winning. The Browns are going to start 2-0. What the hell's going on here? So the Lions are going to start 2-0. The Browns are going to start 2-0. The Jaguars are going to start 2-0. What in the world is going on? The Chiefs are going to start 0-2. If I'm right about all this is going to be the weirdest start in a long time. Okay? So. Gord King, where you been, man? So, for people just joining, if they did not hear what I was talking about in the beginning of the show, let me refresh this real quick. Okay, so we're running the new contest, okay, the new quarterback contest, and entries used to be membership tiers here, but we don't have that anymore, okay? So now what we do is to join, you go into Patreon, patreon.com/VonAllen, okay? It's right there on the screen. You can see it. There's the Patreon logo, and then the VonAllen next to it, okay? So you go there, and you pick what tier you want. There's 4 selections. There's 4 different tiers. There's $5, $10, $20, and $50, okay? So each tier gives you more entries into the quarterback tournament. And when you do that, you let me know. Once you become a patron on Patreon, I apply the wrench logo. So if you look at Elf of Courage or Nightly Sinister or Anthony Preston, you'll see a wrench next to their name. That means they're now moderators. That wrench acts as it lets me know that you're a patron, and it also acts as a super chat. So when I see that, I will prioritize it, and now your comments will be posted on the show like this. So now I'll read out other people's comments like I always do. But if you want your comment posted on the actual screen where everyone can see it, that will be treated like a super chat. So, and just by signing up on Patreon, I will apply that there. And if it's a comment that you really, really want, that you think is really important, you can send me a message also on Patreon, and I'll check it. Okay? So, but that's what we're doing now. So go ahead and go over there if you want to enter the tournament and you want to get the wrench next to your name and start being able to send super chats again. So, Nightwalker, what's up, man? Deutschland. So, Alpha Courage says, not to brag, but Pat's never lost home openers after banner unveilings. So, yeah, well, it was pretty bad to lose, for the Chiefs to lose that. I will admit that that's not a good look. It's not a good look It's not a good look to lose. You know, it's not like we've not seen it before, but to the general public, when you lose to the Detroit Lions with the reputation that they have, it's bad optics, Al. So. Let's see if I missed anything here. Guten Abend, Nightwalker. I'm about to say Guten Nacht, actually. Well, Elva Courage, that's because Elva Courage, since Super Chat, he says, I can remember Pats taking heat for losing to the Lions and Matt Patricia. And that's because Tom Brady's Patriots are the Donald Trump of the NFL and the NFL media. So any good they do, they minimize it. Anything bad happens to them, they magnify it. And it's the same thing in politics. So I'm about to go here, but speaking of politics, you guys read about RFK. Some guy was arrested with some guns, posing as a federal marshal, trying to become part of his security detail at his event here in LA on Friday. That's freaking scary, man. That's crazy. It's like here we are in 2023 and we're still talking about Kennedy stuff. Possible Kennedy assassination attempts. That's insane. That is still something that's like, just something that we would say or read in the news. It's just bizarre to see that word Kennedy next to attempt. It's weird, right? But yeah, so. Alrighty. Is there anything else that you guys wanted me to cover tonight? Is there anything I'm forgetting before I sign off here? Let me know. Just comment real quick and see in case I'm forgetting something or if there's something that you guys were curious about. Yep, Nightwalker, just like a movie. Exactly. It's so weird. So weird. I was at an RFK event a month ago, and I was going to meet him, and then they at the last minute they had some kind of threat here against them, so nobody was able to meet him. Met some other people though. I met the dude from Project Veritas, James O'Keefe. That guy's awesome, and so that was cool talking to him. But didn't get to meet RFK there. But yeah, I try to hit up all the political stuff going on locally here, except for like radical left stuff. I don't go to those. But it's good to show up at those things just to kind of get experience and get and meeting people, talking to people, and things like that. Because I am going to run for office eventually. What the hell was that? That was weird. That thing only goes off if someone super chats or subscribes. So we must have a new subscriber. Let me see. Maybe that shouldn't be in the back. Maybe I should move those to the front. I think that'd be probably better. Oh yeah, there's the widget. Okay, yeah. So if that happens again, it should pop up. All right. So, okay. So Elva Courage says, so when is the first round of the quarterback tournament? So it will be in 2 weeks. The VAS live 2 weeks from tonight. It'll start that's following Sunday, but the show 2 weeks from tonight will be the last time you can apply get an entry. Anthony Preston says, can I buy more slots for the quarterback tournament? Yes. There's a $50 tier that gives you more slots. Nightly Sinister says, can I buy you out and just win the tournament? No. If that was the case, if I could be bought out, I would have submitted to YouTube's terms and conditions and just gotten remonetized. So, no. But that, although buying more entries does get you, your odds are better. Your odds are much better, like with anything, obviously. But it's not a guarantee. So it's just not. It's not a guarantee. But it does definitely improve them. So. And I don't know what we're going to go with the prize this time. I'm not sure. We went with an Xbox last time. I don't know if we'll change it up and do something else, maybe an Apple product, or maybe I don't know. We'll see. I have a few days to kind of decide. It also depends on how many entries we get. So that, yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here because we still got tomorrow. So. Thank you for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. It's nice to see you, all of you again. And if you, like I said, go to patreon.com if you want to sign up for the quarterback tournament. So I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Please leave a like. I greatly appreciate it. And let's see. Yep. We'll talk soon. Hopefully it'll be a good night tomorrow night. All right.
Hi, this is tennis player Mariana Dragic, and you're watching VonAllen Sports, real and honest sports analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go!
Flag on the play if you're not subscribed to VonAllen Sports. But once you are, we'll make it up to your team in the fourth quarter. You're watching VonAllen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go.
VonAllen Sports. VonAllen Sports.